And you asked last game, how long before we see Peter Lee? The answer is they had to lose one first.
Yeah. And John Jackson end to end. So 2-0 right off the bat here from New York. They're not looking to mess around. They are looking to right the ship in a hurry. Starting lineups on the Charlotte side, meanwhile, Joe Goldberg and Cody LeBove get the start in the beater position. It's going to be Trey Presley with the keeper headband, and Lee Hodge, Ryan Davis, and Aaron Smeckrud as the rest of the quaffle.
And one of the things we emphasized from that first game, it wasn't necessarily the Charlotte defense that was great. It was the New York offense that was bad. But bad, and they still scored 7 times.
Devin Lee has been playing for like 2 minutes and has been the most impactful single person in this whole series, I think. Absolutely.
And here comes JC, and I don't think anybody's going to say
the only one that was going to stop him was himself, but Lindsay Morello was there for the recovery. She sends it over to Peter Lawrence. Peter Lawrence, I think, was beat before.
And they are going to call it beat before. Desperation beat there by Charlotte to keep themselves in this one.
Yeah, because they're getting played off the pitch right now by the extremely athletic combo of Devin Lee and Frank Minson. Devin Lee did get beat at the very end of that exchange. I'm not sure whether an AR was looking at it, but we will see how it gets called. Stakes here. Season is on the line for New York. A Charlotte win punches their ticket to a semifinal versus the San Antonio Soldados, who just completed a 2-0 sweep of Indianapolis.
And looked good doing it.
Yeah. And on the other side, New York needs to win to force a Game 3 a little bit later tonight. A game that I think all eyes would be on if that were the case, because I think it's looking like all of the other 3 quarterfinals might end up tidy 2-0 wins.
And it's going to be a yellow card for Cody LeBove here for Charlotte.
Cody LeBove is, I don't have the stat in front of me, probably the team leader in cards accrued. Definitely tends to just play a little bit outside the rules here and there and does get caught for it. So on top of all the other issues befalling Charlotte early in the game here, they are now facing a beater power play as well.
And it looks like John Jackson is behind Charlotte's bludgers here. Still looking to take his time.
Peter Lawrence
getting into JC.
Aaron Sibia.
Aaron Sibia looking for a wide open Lindsay Morello.
And
a really beautiful pass there.
Clean pass. The Rutgers connection created all those years back in school. Morello finishes. The beater power play is a success. And it is 3-0 New York, who are trying to drop the hammer down on Charlotte.
And the offense looking so much better, and it really has been Devin Lee making the difference. He's opened up the Charlotte defense so much.
Yeah.
He is calling for a sub here. We'll see how quickly he gets one.
Perry Wang looking to be an answer here for Charlotte after the first shift. Didn't really get the job done. I assume Celine Richard is going to be joining him soon. They're usually the beater pair, and yes, she subs in for LeBove.
And we'll see if Charlotte can't get a foothold in this game with this beater pair now. On Peter Webb making a really good play there.
Davis into the lane. Shot goes low, and Lee Hodge can't come up with it. Some of the things that were falling for them in Game 1, just not doing so in Game 2.
Haven't had too many looks either. We've seen some turnovers early for Charlotte.
Yep. The foul basically ended one possession before it ever even started.
And Perry Wang did make the difference. He did open up a shot for them there.
Yep.
And now we are seeing Jason Rosenberg come back into the game. He's going to be Devin Lee's sub. He was their bright spot in Game 1.
Yeah, he and Rachel Ayala Silver are definitely the best beating pair we saw from New York in Game 1, though that Frank Minson-Devin Lee pair in Game 2 obviously did some work. Taylor Crawford runs in the lane, can't handle that pass. He's had a bit of an iffy day, but the beater control is enough that John Jackson was able to pick up the ball, and now we're going to see if there's a call on the play. Perry Wang somehow went stumbling through the air. Crawford is headed to the box.
We'll see if we can't pantomime the call here for you.
Blue card was given.
Maybe a swat, maybe a bludger swat. It's the most. That's the most likely blue card you'll see pulled today. And it is going to be a quaffle turnover here, so some good news for Charlotte. They're going to have a power play with the ball, and they're going to be looking to run. They've got.
Yeah, and the third bludger is just isolated over here on the near side of the pitch. Jason Rosenberg is off broom, so it is going to be Perry Wang who's going to beat Rachel Ayala Silver. Ayala Silver does reset to Rosenberg to try to stop the fast break. Presley is also stopped by John Jackson, but now John Jackson hits the lane, and it's a large beat there from Jason Rosenberg. It is going to stay with Charlotte. No, I think they're going to say Trey Presley propelled the ball, That's going to be a turnover.
Yeah, and that's a really bad possession there from Charlotte. That's the kind of spot they really look to run, and just nobody going with Presley there to really make a difference.
And that's a heat check confidence beat there from Jason Rosenberg. That's a long beat, and if you miss it, it's no bludgers the rest of the way, and it's just squarely nabbed Trey Presley in the chest.
And we're gonna get a blue card now on Lee Hodge.
It's going to be on Presley for playing after the beat. Obviously Hodge had minimal to do in that play outside of tracking down the quaffle.
I think we just got a lightning delay called here on the pitch.
Alrighty, so we have a delay. We are going to bring the stream to a wait screen for a bit here as we figure it out. Usually it's going to be about a 30-minute delay, and it will reset every time we have lightning. We will try to keep you updated. Check all of our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, etc., and we will get back to the pitch as soon as it is safe for our players. We thank you guys for watching. We hope you tune in for the rest of this game, too, here between the New York Titans and the Charlotte Aviators. Alrighty, and we are back. The lightning delay has reached its conclusion. It has stayed dry and sunny here, but we're looking out for our players, and when it's within 10 miles, it's something we got to take into consideration. But we're about to get started. New York obviously opened up that really quick 3-0 lead. They're going to look to expand upon it with their season lives on the line.
Yeah, and we'll see if the lightning delay affects the game at all. New York was looking dominant in those first 4 minutes. Plenty of time for Charlotte to make this a game. Obviously, they won the first game, so the pressure is all on New York this time. But Charlotte wants to end this day as quickly as they can and get ready for tomorrow. They've played a lot today.
Yeah. So we're going to see. We're about to get started. It is New York Quaffle. With the 3-0 lead, bludger control is with Perry Wang and Sulin Richard. We're going to flip it over the field if we haven't already. We're all set. There are no penalties. Oh, no, sorry. Taylor Crawford is serving a penalty right now, it appears.
Oh, no, there's 2 movements.
Oh, so they're going to have to be really careful here.
And Jason Rosenberg escorting Jackson up the pitch, doing a nice job, giving him some space. There's no defender stepping. A lot of space behind for Taylor Crawford. He's going to shoot. He's going to score.
That's the kind of confident take we didn't see from Taylor Crawford a lot this weekend. And bludger control as well off of that.
Well, Ryan Davis picking his way down the field, gets by a beat and puts one through.
Yeah, that's how Charlotte has stayed competitive all weekend long, those mid-range shots. Really confident to go in against 2 bludgers, and it wasn't even with a bludger support because Celine Richard had lost her bludger. But Ryan Davis just felt out the defense, hit the mid-range shot. It is now 4-1.
Yeah, really great individual play there from Davis.
And of course, even while leading, the slow pace of play that Titans bring is sometimes more of their curse than their blessing, especially in a game that they're favored in. It's a lot harder for them to pull away when they're taking a minute or 2 per possession. Parada's now in the game for Jackson, goes across to Crawford. It's the exact same look from the last possession, and it's another goal. Now it's going to be up to Charlotte to make an adjustment because they do not have an answer for that little cut from Taylor Crawford.
Yeah, and a nice move there from Crawford to shimmy off the defender, to stepping Davis and get himself a clean look at the goal.
Yeah. So we're about 7 minutes in now, and it's an early 5-1 lead from New York, who needs to win to force a Game 3 here under the lights tonight. A Charlotte win punches their ticket to the semifinal. We know already that the San Antonio Soldados are waiting for the winner of this game.
And does it look like Presley's limping to you a little bit? He might have gotten knocked up before the lightning delay.
Yeah. I mean, you could. There's a number of injuries, I'm sure, starting to pile up on the Charlotte team as a wayward pass is picked off by Mohagog. As we mentioned, this is their 5th game of the day already compared to New York's 2nd. And Taylor Crawford's about to make it a quick post-lightning strike hat trick and a 6-1 lead for New York.
Yeah, and they're opening up the lead here. Charlotte doesn't have any answers.
Yeah.
And they're really able to get, well, that play was nicely done in transition.
Yeah. And Charlotte does have to, at some point, decide, you know, when do we stop taking our best shot in Game 2 and save it up for Game 3? Like we said, Game 3, if they can't win this one, is going to be their 6th game of the day. They are not the deepest team. They tend to run in the beater game. They're very deep. Their quaffle game, though, tends to only run about 2 lines. So can they kind of make sure they have those minutes fresh for what could be a potential Game 3?
We mentioned before the lightning break, unlike a lot of teams, they do have, unlike every other team, they've got the best sinker here.
Yeah.
They've got Ryan Davis. He's going to be able to keep them in it for an extended period of time. So if they can keep it within, 40 points, I think they've got to go for it.
Yeah. Well, right now the lead is 50, and it was another lost possession there. Tony Bonadio, who had a very good shift in Game 1, makes a big beat there on Jason Rosenberg, and he's going to be able to press Prada. Unfortunately for Bonadio, Prada had not crossed half yet, so he has this whole, middle quarter of his defensive side to use for spacing, and New York gets away without using a reset after a 1 play there. It's Bonadio and Hamill. These are the 2 players that Ryan Davis, in their interview after Game 1, was talking about really taking big steps over the course of the season and allowing this beater core to have that extra level of depth. Bonadio misses the beat on Parada and then does get beat, so it's going to be a loss of bludger control. Now can New York strike once again? This time it's with Hagag. Taylor Crawford has it behind. Oh, no, he loses it out of bounds.
Ball behind. Yeah. Better ball pressure there from Charlotte.
In Hagag's defense, he plays with a ton of 6'2" quaffle players and Taylor Crawford.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's going to be Logan Hartman now taking over ball carrying responsibilities for Charlotte.
Yeah, and Quincy Hildreth finding the field also.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about, where Hildreth isn't necessarily as comfortable with the mid-range shot that has really been their bread and butter against this defense, so maybe it makes a little bit more sense to play him on the wing. It's a missed beat there from Jason Rosenberg, quick bludger control, and now Hartman's looking to drive. Flings one in the general direction of Hildreth, but Hildreth cannot get there. It's another wasted opportunity.
Yeah, didn't see it in time, not quick enough to get there.
And Jason Rosenberg also, meanwhile, won a race to a ball and managed to keep bludger control for the Titans.
A lot of good things happening here for New York. They've kept the pace slow. They've forced Charlotte into half court sets. And Charlotte's has not looked good all weekend really in half court sets.
Yep. Prada walking it up slowly, escorted by his 2 beaters with bludger control, hits the right side, finds Crawford. This is where Crawford's been so dangerous, and he once again delivers. Crawford, who had a very quiet Game 1 that we gave him some criticism for, has answered the call in Game 2 here.
Yeah, he's been unstoppable from behind the hoops.
And that's where he makes his money and has all season. The second leading scorer on this New York team behind John Jackson. 22 goals to his name. Waiting on a call here. Also possibly just resetting the ball back to the Charlotte keeper. 7-1 the score if the goal stands, which I believe it does. I don't see any indication that it won't. Hildreth now with the ball.
Hildreth coming down the pitch. Logan Hartman has not looked that great on the ball this entire series and this entire weekend. And Hildreth, as you mentioned, maybe less comfortable with the mid-range shot, but has looked great dishing on the drives.
Yeah, Hartman wants to be in the lane, clogging things up and looking for a passing option. Unfortunately, Crawford had the answer there for Hildreth on the drive attempt, and it's just going to be another turnover. It has been very quiet from Charlotte on the offensive end in this game.
Yeah. They've just looked a little checked out all game.
Yeah.
Offensively and defensively.
I mean, it's hard to keep that energy pumping after such a huge upset, and then you have to take an hour break, and you're going to your 5th game of the day.
Right.
Crawford has the ball a little bit earlier down that wing than he has at most times, which means Quincy can just kind of set up out there against him. So he just swings it back to Parada. Bonadio Oh, just throws a bludger in the direction of Parada and then beats Rosenberg to the second
And that's
bludger.
both bludgers gone. Hagag's going to have a no bludger situation if he's quick enough. Looks like, oh, and that's a great beat there.
And Hagag's just going to go all the way to the hoop, over and under and through.
Yeah, and a really heads-up play from Jason Rosenberg to beat the incoming Charlotte beater, who was going to go make the play on Hagag. Opens up the lane. Hagag able to take advantage.
Yeah. And now we're getting into a bit of a blowout situation here with about 11 and a half minutes into this one. Can Charlotte turn the tides? Do they use a timeout? I mean, they had a 40-minute timeout, and they couldn't make the right adjustments at that point.
Charlotte, nice little pick there.
You know, off balls.
Some movement. Leaves the chaser open on the wing.
Yeah, Howard's open. High beat there from Rosenberg. Forces the quaffle out, but nothing more. And now Quincy Hildreth looking to drive on no bludgers. This is the head of steam he wants.
There
He picks out Diana Howard. She scores smoothly, and finally Charlotte breaks the New York 5-0 run coming out of the break.
And they left her open off the pick, just hung out in the right space, and finally Quincy is able to find her.
Yep. Some subs now from New York. They did get a lot out of their second quaffle line there, but now the first one comes back out. Can they continue to produce on the offensive end?
We've seen some really encouraging signs from Jason Rosenberg. Really played well all series. Still a lot of space in front of John Jackson.
Yep. Charlotte not pressing the issue all that much. It's going to swing around to Pierre Lawrence, who's now playing the Taylor Crawford position. Not as effectively as they just lob one back up to John Jackson. Rosenberg dodges. And then it's just an easy John Jackson. And stealing a phrase out of Jake Archibald's book, Let's Out of Let's Go, as the lead extends to 9-2.
About as easy as a possession can get there. The beat never really had a chance.
Devin Lee is checked back into the game. His first shift alongside Frank Minson was nothing short of absolutely dominant. This time he's going to be playing with Jason Rosenberg. And it's a high press off of the tap beat. Quincy Hildreth's beat. Diana Howard is going to get wrapped up by Jackson, though Jackson comes off broom, but it's only black shirts swarming the quaffle.
And still a good decision there from Hildreth to not turn the ball over to midfield. But John Jackson comes down the field anyway. Nobody's in front of him.
Oh, but Ryan Davis strips him.
Yeah, a really great play there from Ryan Davis.
It looks like... Yep. JC Aaron has stepped out of bounds. I appreciate the AR pointing to the exact spot in which Aaron Sivia stepped out of bounds. So it's going to be Logan Hartman's ball, but it is a 7-goal lead here with about 14 minutes into this game 2 of this quarterfinal series. Meanwhile, in pitch 1, Washington and Austin are playing game 2. Austin won the first game. Washington got off to a better start in game 2. We'll see what is going to happen over there. Both of these series could end in this game, but it's starting to look like this one is not going to, as New York has really been commanding throughout this one. Cody LeBeau's back in the game. Logan Hartman,
a little late there.
Yeah, and Eric Morlock was all over that one.
Yeah, nice driving lane there. Wasn't really a chase to the step 2, but the beater made the play instead.
The New York beaters have been so willing to throw early and make the beats too, and that just has thrown an extra wrinkle in Charlotte. Charlotte in game 1 was just getting into that lane over and over, and now they're just eating beats every time they get into that lane.
Yeah, really active from the New York beaters this game.
2 semifinal participants already all set. Boston and San Antonio both completing their sweeps, returning to the semifinals that they reached in 2019, though they won't play each other like they did. 2 spots left. New York needs to win 2 straight to punch their ticket. Charlotte needs 1 more. And then, as we mentioned in the other game, Washington down 1-0 to Austin. The winner of that one to play Boston. The winner of this one to play San Antonio. John Jackson has the ball. Still plenty of Quidditch to be played here.
Loses the ball.
Yeah.
Ryan Davis able to pick it up.
Couldn't tell if a bludger forced that or if it just slipped out of Jackson's hand. Just to be clear, that weather delay did not come with any rain. The field is no wetter than it was an hour ago.
So Devin Lee throwing a bludger back, getting it back on defense.
Yep.
Charlotte with bludger control.
Yeah, Lee and Minson, the original beater pair, now in for New York. Aaron Sibia steps up. Logan Hartman just backs off. Going to try to hit the lane once again. And this time does uncork the mid-range shot. And that was the difference. There wasn't anybody to step up. No point defender, no beater.
Yeah, nice job there clearing the way by Perry Wang.
Bludger control does go to Charlotte. Perry Wang able to outrun Frank Minson over the side or dodge the beat. One of the two. It's now New York's going back into the depth. Vinny Iannucci now in at keeper. Playing with Peter Lawrence and JC Arancibia, as well as Lindsay Morella. Lee looking for an opportunity to attack either Goldberg or Wang.
Oh, nice beat there.
Yeah, now the press comes high. It was two perfectly landed beats there from Charlotte. And then JC Arancibia has just shoved the ball out of bounds. Ryan Davis wants to take this as quickly as they can.
And he's looking to run.
Yeah, because they're getting support. Quincy Hildreth is coming down the wrong side. And a misplaced pass there from Davis. And it's going to go well out of bounds. Those are the opportunities that they cannot pass up. That would have been a real shift. It would have been a quick 2-0 run. The lead would have been down to 50. Instead, New York gets to regroup.
Right.
Like you said, as long as the game is hanging around 50-40, with the threat that Ryan Davis provides in the seeker game, it's far from over.
And we saw a very thrilling comeback that they mounted against Washington. It ultimately fell up short, but it was a Ryan Davis snitch grab that started it all.
Yep. And same with that New York game. I mean, they didn't have to come back as much, but did come back a couple points with that grab. Arancibia with the ball up top. We're reaching the 17-minute mark of play here in Game 2 of this quarterfinal. Oh, and some effort plays from Mike Phillips, who has some of the fresher legs on Charlotte. Hasn't played as many minutes.
Forces the reset there. Really nicely done.
Yeah, Perry Wang and Joe Goldberg are deep into New York territory. Now they're behind the play, though. It doesn't matter. Perry Wang's going to clean it up. Yep, it's a late throw there from Peter Lawrence. Wang and Goldberg were everywhere in that play.
And Phillips starting it all with the press.
Yep. I mean, sometimes, teams want to really condense their lines and, play their best players in their big games. But at some point, your best players playing at, 70% are not better than your fresh subs off the bench.
Absolutely, and everybody's got to make the distinction. At what point do those fresh legs start to matter more?
Yep.
And we're seeing the answer in a game like this, where you need some spark. It's a perfect opportunity to see that.
We haven't seen a lot of Devin Classic in this game either. He was a solid contributor in that
really
game
good.
too. Yeah. And Joe Hauerwas, I think, also had a goal in that game. I'm not sure we've seen him on the pitch either. 9-3 the score. Beaters just sorting some things out.
And I'm interested to see where the quaffle ends up. It probably should be Charlotte on the restart. It will be Hildreth. It will be Quincy Hildreth getting the quaffle on the restart here.
And
Head up, looking to run.
Yeah, because there's no bludger. Rachel Silver's going to gather the only one. Full head of steam. Quincy Hildreth, tough to stop. They call him off broom? Wow. Coming off your own broom on a fast break is a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, and that's two missed opportunities on fast breaks in a row. Usually the Charlotte team's so good in transition.
Yeah.
We saw Ryan Davis with the errant pass to Quincy Hildreth, and now Hildreth coming off broom.
Yeah, but, tired legs breed tired minds, and it's just been a couple of, little mental errors. Iannucci still in the game here at keeper and swings over to Morella.
And Morella out wide with the quaffle.
Jess Daly's entered the game for Charlotte. And we are at the 18-minute mark. This is definitely more depth out of Charlotte.
Another great beat there by Joe Goldberg, but it's going to leave a lane open.
Wang misses the beat.
Wide.
Oh, Mike Phillips just takes it off of Iannucci.
Yeah, another great defensive player. And he gives a little fist bumps for his efforts. And he deserves it.
I mean, he's showing up big. They gave him some minutes, and he's making the absolute most out of them right now.
Yeah, two great defensive play there. Defensive play there by Mike Phillips.
Yeah, only a couple possessions here left before the snitch on pitch period. Charlotte could really use a couple goals because right now, even if it's 9-3 and they make a catch, it's still a long, long road to a win. The Smeckery just nowhere to go there. Pressured high by Mike Lee. They force the turnover. We get subs in the beater game after a very strong shift from Wang and Goldberg. It's now going to be Bonadio and Sulin Richard.
Arancibia gives the ball back up to Lee up top.
Rosenberg now back in the game in the quaffle in the beater game. Lee, that was a pass.
Arancibia.
Yeah. Tough target to miss.
Probably the only one that could go up and get.
Yeah. I thought that thing was skied. Aaron Sivia is going to reset it all the way back to Lee, just playing catch with each other from
Rosenberg
about
getting
25
back
yards
into
away.
play.
Yep.
Lee
Lee's in
looking
the
for a
lane.
shot.
It's just going to swing it, though. And now it's what can Aaron Sivia do? He gets in the lane and rips one through. That has been New York's bread and butter all game in this one. I think a combination of Aaron Sivia and Crawford have scored about 6 or 7 goals from that exact cut.
That was probably the hardest one they had to hit, too.
Yep.
Coming across his body to that top hoop. Tough shot.
Yeah, Aaron Sivia's got crazy body control when it comes to those mid-range shots. We saw it in the Boston series as well. So time ticking away here in the initial period of game 2, 10-3, the score in favor of New York. New York seems very much in position to force that game 3.
And Charlotte counting down. Oh, and that ball is...
Molly Potter's going to knock down that pass, and we reach the 20-minute mark, and that is going to be the end of the period. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I'm New York here, I say, you know what? Let Ryan Davis get theirs. If they want to go out there and catch that Snitch, so be it. Just keep our beaters in the quaffle game. Start trying to get as many of those 6 goals as you can get before you have to go back to playing half-court offense. Even if you're exchanging, you just need to get the scores up. Goal is to get to 160 here, and they are leading 100 to 30.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good on.
Yep. So assuming that New York does hold on here, what do you think Charlotte needs to change going to a deciding game 3?
It's a good question. They need to get into their transition game better, more effectively.
They also need to change. They need to figure out a defensive answer for that cut that Taylor Crawford and JC Arkansas have been running.
Yeah, that cut worked with Taylor. The cut Taylor Crawford was running was slightly different from Aaron Sivia, right?
Yep. A little more incisive.
Right. Aaron Sivia likes to hang out a little bit further. With Aaron Sivia, you really want to get a body up and on him and take away space from the shooter. With Taylor Crawford, it's a little bit of a tougher challenge. He poses a double threat on goal, a triple threat on goal when you include his ability to pass. And that's going to be a tougher answer, especially with how much force John Jackson drives with.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the problem, right? They're stuck between a rock and a hard place because they keep letting these ball carriers deeper into the zone, which means the pass is short enough that you can't step out to Crawford, you can't step out to Aaron Sivia. So they either need to start marking that player out wide, or they need to try to force the ball carriers to not be able to get as deep into the zone with higher beat
and we saw Davis get caught in between that one time. And the first time let the drive come through. The second time got caught trying to step.
Yep. So we see if New York does put any effort into the beater game or not. They do have bludger control, but Frank Minson does beat Ryan Davis, but quickly eats a beat from Bonadio. Kellen Cupid is going to get the first shot here in the Seeker game, as John Jackson is looking to drive in the Quaffle game.
A nice pick there by Molly Potter.
Nobody steps to John Jackson. That was some low-energy defense out of Charlotte. The score is now 11-3, goal to 160.
Yeah, we'll see what Davis is able to do here.
Yeah. Mo Hagag is a snitch on pitch beating specialist for New York. Snitch on pitch beating is so much about energy and running and making your quick back and forth when you get beat. Hagag's done that very well for New York all season. Plays no other beater minutes for the team.
And Presley now here on a drive.
And Jackson knocks that down, and this is exactly what New York wants, to just start running up the goals. But a nice recovery there from Cody Lebov. And that's why if Cody Lebov is going to stay in the Quaffle game, I dislike even more that New York is staying in the Seeker game.
Yeah, and Presley just lost the ball there on his way in.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kellen Cupid will deliver a catch at some point off of Justin Barnard. So I guess New York is really just weighing their options. They're not going to get caught up to all that quickly. They're up 8. So, if Kellen Cupid can catch in the next minute or two, it'll be smooth sailing.
Just John Jackson back with the ball. We've got a little bit of a beater scrum. Ref's going to figure that one out.
Yep. Bondio had come to clean it up. I think there might actually be an injury to Hagag is the problem here. So we will get that one sussed out. 11-3 now the score. The goal score is 16. The time of a hypothetical game 3 in the series was scheduled 8:30. We'll just keep an eye on our social media channels. Because of the lightning delay, we're going to have to figure out exactly when that game 3 would be played. But it will be happening tonight, all these semifinals. Barring, knock on wood, any further lightning delays, we'll be finishing up tonight.
Yeah, I wish we actually had wood to knock on.
Hey, we have a lovely press box. We can't complain at all about what Troy Park.
The facilities have been great here at Troy Park.
For sure.
And Haggad getting up under his own power, able to walk off. Should just be a bit of a knock.
Yeah. Important player for the team, though, but like you said, I don't see him missing any time. Maybe he won't play the rest of this game, but he probably isn't necessarily needed.
And Rosenberg subbing in for Haggad.
Yep. Jackson does have the ball. I could have a
Quick
little
pass
out
to
of position.
Morello, quick pass back. Really well done there. Shot goes through. Really good give and go from Morello and Jackson.
Yep. Ryan Davis did get a brief look at Barnard, but Jason Rosenberg did clean it up. Charlotte needs to convert some of these no-bludger situations, though. They had a good one that Trey Presley failed to convert on earlier. Ryan Davis is flying at Justin Barnard right now. Substitution in for New York, it's actually going to be David Fox, who's been playing, I'd say, the fourth most minutes at Seeker for this team, but they're always looking to identify a matchup that works for them for a given snitch.
Presley looking at his first shot, and he gets swatted away by Jackson.
Yeah, Presley's now failed to convert twice in these no-budget situations in snitch on pitch, and Mike Lee is looking to make it a third time, though I believe he's going to get called for back contact.
And we have not seen Quincy Hildreth. We've not seen Lee Hodge, which are two people you normally see here in these snitch on pitch situations. I wonder maybe if this team is just trying to save their legs for Game 3.
Yeah, and I also wonder, JC Arancibia, if the reason he's not seeking is because they want to get him in the quaffle game to try and help run these last few balls up.
And I'd be curious to see how many more times Ryan Davis comes out to catch this snitch for Charlotte.
Oh, that was very close there from David Fox. The sock comes off. It's not to be. It was a goal there from Trey Presley. Kind of left John Jackson in the dust, and John didn't seem to want to give the effort to avoid the goal going down from 9 to 8 goal lead. 12-4 is the score. 16 is the goal. A catch here from David Fox would be just short of decisive. Oh, he is getting very far behind Barnard at this point. Crawford is in the lane.
Ooh.
And that is going to be the double whammy, the 4-point score, the goal, and the snitch grab. And if everything is called good, it is going to be game, set, match here. Sorry, just game, because we have a match still to play. We are going to be headed to Game 3.
Really good grab there by Fox.
Yeah, Fox was shooting behind Barnard constantly. They are reattaching the sock to Barnard. They could just be doing that as a courtesy, but also possible the goals. The catch is not going to be good. The goal is definitely going to be good. Yeah, so the catch is going to be called no good. Quaffle, as we said, was good. So New York just 3 goals or a catch away from a win.
And a catch here feels almost a minute at this point.
Yeah. I mean, David Fox is shooting behind Justin Barnard consistently.
The hands
here.
look too quick.
Yeah. And like you said, it does seem like Charlotte is playing some of its depth here. It seems like a bit of a concession, to be sure. Which, honestly, the question is, do you even waste Ryan Davis's energy at this point?
Right.
Just Daly is going to score that one on a nice pass across from Joel Hauerwas.
Ooh. Fox pick up a knock from his own teammate there.
Yep. Taylor Crawford puts that one through. It's just now 2 goals more for New York. At some point, the beating from Charlotte has to switch back to the quaffle game. Probably should have happened already, to be honest.
Absolutely should have happened.
Lee Hodge is taking some reps at keeper, which kind of shows some of the legs that they want to be resting here. Hodge plays a lot of minutes, but does not play a lot of minutes at keeper.
Lee Hodge taking his time.
Just Daly has the ball, fresh off another goal. We're going to get a whistle.
Ryan Davis still on the field at Seeker for Charlotte.
It's going to be a bludger turnover and a blue card for Charlotte. It's going to be in bludger control. It's probably going to mean another goal in the opposite direction. And yeah.
The game seems pretty inevitable at this point. It's interesting that Davis hasn't subbed out yet.
Just Daly is still in control, working on Parada, gets over to Hauerwas. They connected for the last goal. Daly swings across the zone. He's looking for, beautiful pass.
Swallowed
Yeah.
the hoops.
Good recovery by Parada, but also nice ball movement from Charlotte. Parada's looking to drive. Does have the beater power play. Nobody seems to be getting in his way. Oh, he gets stripped at the last second. Oh, he can't put it through. We'll wait for the call. The hoop did Charlotte some favors there, to be sure.
It almost looked like the ball went through and went off the back of a Charlotte player and then popped out. But
Yeah,
I think the ball is.
Yeah, I saw it come off I thought the T piece, but obviously the refs do have a better view than us.
Oh, infinitely.
Cupid now back in the game, looking to deliver that winning catch for New York. And at this point, I kind of feel like New York needs a confidence catch because their seekers have really struggled against these snitches so far.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, in a perfect world, New York draws up. They absolutely make this catch earlier.
Yep. Crawford is called off broom. Ooh, Justin Barnard also going down hard there in a little extra scrum. Yep, Taylor Crawford came off broom. Another failed attempt at a goal there. New York needs 2 goals or a snitch grab to lock down Game 2 and force a Game 3 here in our quarterfinal. Frank Minson high pressuring on Hauerwas. Misses the beat though. Now Hauerwas looking to run. Lindsay
Nice
Morella
tackle there from Morella.
takes him down. And John Jackson is going end to end.
Nobody can stop him.
Doing his best Colin Friday impression there.
Not quite as quick as Colin Friday.
No. Good head of steam, though. 15-5 is the score. Next goal wins here for New York or next snitch grab. That's the snitch grab. Kellen Cupid delivering the win for New York. We just need to wait on the official call.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice grab, too. Over, like underneath the armpit, over the back.
Yep. Show respect from the 2 seekers there. 2 seekers have really made the mark all season. Ryan Davis, of course, we talked a lot about. But Kellen Cupid also a very solid season. Catch is going to be good, so New York does get to end it, securing a grab. 185-50 is the score. New York will force a Game 3, and we will be seeing that one on pitch 1. Like I said, we're going to have to talk to teams, figure out the exact time of start, but we will get back to you as quick as you can. Keep on checking on our social media and check on our pitch 1 feed as well. I don't know what's happening in Austin, but if they need a Game 3, that Game 3 will be played on pitch 2. For Noah Schwartz and for Harry Clark, our producer, we thank you for watching. If it's the end of the day on pitch 2, we will see you tomorrow for championships. Either way, though, don't miss Game 3 of the series between the New York Titans and the Charlotte Aviators. Take care.